Now, yes, great. Thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned, I am Kekeli Yaw Dorkenoo, and I would like to welcome you to the Africa Climate Change and Health Innovation Week celebration. Now, this celebration is being organized by the Digital Health Africa in Rwanda, endorsed by AFEC Foundation, NOFMA, Kenya, and other stakeholders. So they extended the permit to Keldork Global to organize sessions in Ghana. And for us, we took a different turn to bring in various experts from 4 different countries across Africa. We'll be having one from UK, South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, Chad, and Egypt. And God being so good, or Allah being so good today, we have a spectacular lady. Her name is Marwa Bishara. And tonight she's going to give us some well-renowned insights on some research that she has done. You know, climate change is a very big problem. And when we have climate change, we also have climate health. So if you would agree with me, refugees, displaced people all over Africa and the world and beyond are people who have really been in fact impacted by climate change. So we all, one way or the other, can contribute our quota towards tackling climate change. And she is here today to shed light on the topic climate health and its impact on persons living in deprived communities, war zones, border zones, and so on and so forth. So without much ado, I would like to welcome Marwa Bishara. She's the current Vice HR of Africlimativ in Africa. She is also a YOUNGO Health Working Group member. She was also part of COP26, that's Conference of Party in Climate Change. So she's very passionate about climate health and she really has a lot to offer. Marwa, so your audience.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Is my voice, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So let's get started. First of all, I am Marwa Bishara, and I am from Chad. I'm really thrilled to be here with you in this beautiful event. And I am also a medical student in my final year. I am the Vice HR of Africlimativ, which is an NGO that cares about the sustainability and environmental changes. So I've always having this interest and trying my best in order to understand the climate change and how it's affecting our health, both physically and mentally. So today, let's try to dive in with this beautiful session of the first week of the climate change and health. So I'm going to talk about today the intersection between the climate change and the human health that's happening among the people, the refugees, the Sudanese refugees at the Chadian-Sudanese border, exactly in Adre, and also the Palestinian in Gaza. So let's start to see what we are gonna dive in. Okay, so I want to highlight a small thing that instead of using the word refugee, the world is trying right now to change the word into resident instead of refugee. I'm sorry that I wrote over here refugee camps, but in order to make it more clear for the people than the word resident camp, so they can feel it's more lovely word to be heard, will strengthen the relationship and the rapport between us. Okay, so I'm gonna first start with the war in Sudan, as most of you have heard, that Sudan at the mid of April 2023 has a war until now it's going on. So the Sudanese people had to flee from Sudan, moving to different other border countries. One of them is Chad. So let's talk first about Chad, trying to know more about it and its climate. Then we will see the border problems with the residents in the camps. So Chad is a landlocked country located in the center of Africa, and it's bordered by 6 countries: Libya, Sudan, Niger, Nigeria, Cameroon, and the Republic of Central Africa. Chad is considered one of the poorest countries having high level of poverty, and has many challenges with the climate changes. Despite all of that, it's rich with the natural resources and has rich in the cultural heritage. Okay, Chad is also, as we said, considered one of the least developed countries, developing countries, highly vulnerable for the different climate changes. And it's also suffering from one of the hottest climates because most of its territories is desert. Okay, as the last COP, which was COP 28, they agreed to limit the global warming to 1.5 centigrade. But the problem in Chad is that there is an annual increase in the temperature by 0.7 centigrade, and it's an increase. And temperature may even increase and project to even more by 2060. So the weather in Chad, it varies. In December to February, it's more cooler. And yeah, it's more cooler. And from March to June, it's summer, very hot. And July to November, it's rainy season. So we can see that there can be too much rain and it's autumn. Okay, let's continue. So let's dive in to slide number 3. Okay, so the other slides? Yeah, here. Okay, as we said, since April 2023, nearly 500,000 of the residents crossed the Sudanese border to Chad. 86% of them are women and children in order to flee and escape from the violence and the killing that's happening over there. The main city that occupied them or hosted them is called Adre, where the most of the camps is over there. Chad has received the largest share of the people fleeing from Sudan. So because of Chad not being one of the best countries economically, it has this thing made a very high burden on them. Many strains on it because it's having some economical problems. Okay, now the arrivals have no choice. Most of them have no choice but to settle in any area, have to settle and build their own cloth-made tents because the humanitarian aids tried to provide the tents for everyone, but the number was really higher than the amount they can cover. So some people had to stay at any area which was informal and had to just build their own tent in order to continue living. Okay, let's move to slide number 4. Okay, so we can see in this picture how people have to walk long distances, carrying heavy bags. Some of them having their survival items in the heat, where the temperature is very high, where there's, as we said before, Chad is considered most of its territory, 5% of it is desert. So people will suffer from heat strokes and many heat-related diseases. People have to walk very long distances. Some don't even have shelters in order to stay in it. So some can stay under the trees, where it's really harsh situation and it's a harsh situation and very big burden on the families that they had to have nothing except themselves and their families. And also, when we move to the other slide, we can see how people have to wait for collecting the water at the sources of it. And also there is very big lack of water over that area because there is no river, no sea, very limited underground water. So people have to wait for a very long time under the sun, under the heat of the sun. Children, women having to collecting them, as we can see in the pictures, people having to stay under the shade of the trees where they have nothing to stay under. All of this is creating a very big heat stress among them. like even the one who were provided by the tents, the temperature inside it is very hot, like it's closed area, and it's not suitable for the long standing of people. So people are having very hard time staying inside the tent. At the same time, also hard time settling outside of it, because they will be impacted by the heat. Some of them will have heat exhaustion. Some will have heat stroke. Some will have heat-related diseases, and especially the people who are suffering from chronic diseases. This heat can really affect them. Like people, for example, let's take people who are suffering from diabetes. Sudan is considered one of the 5 top countries suffering from diabetes. Most of them who flee to Chad have to stay within this very harsh situations. So without having the access to the proper healthcare, without having their proper medications, people are suffering from this heat, which is causing what's called HHS, hyperosmolar hyperglycemic state. That's increasing their the complication of the diabetes. So causing also this heat is causing more dehydration. So it's causing more of complication of the HHS. So this will make the people have many other complications rather than just the disease of diabetes in itself, and also the hypertension. The heat can interfere with the control of it. So many diseases are happening because of this heat. And also, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. And also during the winter, Chad is suffering from the sandstorms, which can affect the tents of the people. So as we said, that the amount of the people, there are very huge numbers of it, in which the humanitarian aids cannot cover the whole number. So some have to build their own tents using their cloths, which cannot protect them from the sandstorms and the small particles that can penetrate it and move inside, allowing the people to be more vulnerable to the small sand particles that can move to the respiratory tract and causing pneumonia, causing asthma attacks, and trigger the immune response within their lung and causing even more respiratory tract infections. Next slide, please. Okay. As we said before, how the extreme heat waves are affecting the people, especially of diabetic patients and other chronic diseases and the hypertensive. They can also cause many different skin diseases like rashes, and some people who are suffering from some skin diseases where the eczema also, where the dryness and the heat can exacerbate it. Okay. Some people are trying to have some. Can you go to the previous one? Okay. Some people are trying their best in order to cool down the tent, but in the areas where there's no even water, it's really hard for them. So they are bringing their kids, putting them in the piscine full of water in order to cool them down. And also, these people are suffering from malaria, are suffering from mosquito-borne diseases and malnutrition diseases. So according to the last journals, we can see that there was high number of people suffering from diarrhea and malaria and other mosquito-borne diseases, as we said. But they saw that the number of malaria was a little bit decreasing, but it was still outspreading. And having they will suffer also from low immunity, which will increase exacerbation of the malaria. As no planted tree belts over that area, as we know that the trees can help in reducing the heat of the sun by because of its shades, and some can reflect, the leaves of the trees can reflect the sun rays. This area doesn't have too much trees in it, lacking of it, so this will that area. And also it won't protect them from the winter cold waves because it works as like walls. So people will suffer from it both. And let's not forget the women health also. It's being affected by the climate change, as they are being settled in an area where there is no personal hygiene equipment for them, no sanitary pads and like that. So it will be really stressful condition for them. And the heat also can affect the women's menstrual cycle, their reproductive organ, causing them to be in a continuous a status of stress because of it. So this some simple issues really have to be addressed. So I had to say it here. This was some of which was seen in the and also I would really like to add that the lack of the mosquito nets, because over there is too much mosquito. Also, Chad is ranked one of the 5 countries that is suffering from malaria because of the mosquito. So people are suffering also from the lack of it to protect them from mosquito and other different insects. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now let's talk to other simple, other similar condition, but in other country in Gaza, in Palestine. Okay, Gaza is a small, densely populated area, which is located in Palestine, its city. It has a coast at the Mediterranean Sea. It has border with Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. Gaza is having a population of 2 million people. Okay, the Gaza climate is mainly, so Gaza climate mainly is from June to October is cool, and from it's hot from June to October, and from December till March it's considered cool. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, as all of us knew, since the 7th of October, a very big conflict happened in Gaza. The Palestine is having conflicts since many years. It's not new, but this one was a very harsh one. So in addition to the humanitarian and political crisis that happened over there, it's happening now and since long, many years recurrence of the conflict, Gaza is highly vulnerable to climate change. New research revealed that the planet warming emission of annual carbon footprint has rose by 20% in Gaza alone, in which making it very vulnerable to the climate change, as the footprint of the person should be from 6,000 to 16,000 per person per year. But in Gaza alone, in the past 2 months, it was very high by 20%, which shows that how can war affect the environment in a very big way and having a very big impact on them. Also, data showed data that was I saw it in the Guardian magazine gave the first estimate of the carbon emission caused by the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Again, this conflict has led to severe human suffering from destruction of the infrastructure and environmental harm. Next slide, please. Okay. As we can see here, that because of this climate change, which has made it potential direct exacerbate food insecurity, as people had to be displaced, not having any resources of food, an issue already affecting approximately 56% of Gaza population, reduced the precipitation of because of change of the climate. There was also change in the rainy season, and which got increase in the heat and more cooler winter. Warmer temperature and an increase in the evaporation rate had reduced the water supply that people used to rely on, and the underground water was affected. Okay, which led into an increase in the cholera, the diarrhea, and other diseases, and other water-related diseases are especially prevalent in Gaza, accounting for 26% of all diseases observed. As we said, because of this climate changes, many new and existing parasites and diseases occur, as changes in the environment can tackle also, and have many other changes in the other biological aspects of the environment. Next slide, please. Okay. As we said that because of this different environmental changes, and because of the how people have to be displaced into areas that are not suitable for them to stay, but they were forced to. Vector-borne diseases are also expected to become more widespread because, as we can see in the pictures, how there are some stagnant water in between the tents. Whenever there is rain, it will just stay over there. It's hard to get rid of it. And there will be also a growing mosquito problem and spread of new and existing parasites and other diseases, as was research conducted by the USAID in 2017. Next slide, please. Okay. As we said before, because of the rising in the temperature, could also cause heat-related different illnesses, as we said before, dehydration, rash, cramps, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, and even sometimes death. So the picture can show this little girl suffering from skin rashes because of the heat. And also the tents are not that much suitable to be used in all the different environmental situations. Some to have water because they can't afford any other. At the same time, it's harmful because the water will stay at the tent and increase the humidity of it and make it wet and increase other different diseases, skin diseases, and will be a suitable environment for the born of other diseases. Next slide. So in Gaza Strip, people are near to the coast, their camps, the sea coast. Yeah, so they can use the seawater in order to cool down their tents by pouring it upon the tents. But the situation in Sudan, as we said before, they don't have enough water in order for drink and for the daily basis, let alone trying to cool the tent. So in Gaza, they can at least pour the water above their tent and also pour the water on their clothes, on their towels, and wearing it in order to cool down the temperature of their bodies and trying to continue their life despite all of that. Next, please. Okay, so as we said, how all this climate changes is affecting the people who are living in displaced areas at the borders, having no solutions in their hand. People are trying so hard in order to continue their life as they flee their home countries. They left everything behind, trying to save their lives and the lives of their beloved ones. So all of that, upon all of that, the humanitarian aids are trying their best in order to help them and securing their lives, their food, their healthcare, and all of that. But because of the now world economic state, this harsh climate changes, especially in Sudan, where they're having many floods right now and destroying many infrastructures that's not allowing the other aids to reach them. And in Gaza, with the continuous war in it, not allowing also the humanitarian aid to enter and help the people and giving them their care. And also because people are afraid of the being bombed, can't continue to stay in one place. They all the time have to continue going from north to south, from south to north, which giving them a very big stress upon them. So I have been trying to see some simple solutions that people can little bit try to make some of it, and I'm sure there will be other bigger solutions that can be done in order to tackle all this hard situations. So first of all, having the human mental state in its correct road is the most important one, because when you are mentally when you're mentally in the best position, you can do many things. So respecting the dignity of the camp residents and boost their mental health and resilience when given basic needs that they need and treat it well. This will make them bring the best out of them in order to enhance their environment and their situation, in order to adopt it and make it in a better way. So the children are very important one. They should be put in in schools, trying to zoom them out of the situations they are in it. Also, their parents, some who lost their job, we can give them, provide them some simple jobs that they can do at the camps with even minimal salaries. The one who used to be teachers, they can bring the children together and teach them. Trying to give them more chances in order to maintain their mental health is very important thing. Also, we can support the women during their menstrual cycle with the best sanitary pads, but also we can try to choose the one that suits them, according to where they are living and according to the resources. For example, the women who are having access to the water resources, like let's say in Gaza, we can give them reusable pads where they can use it and clean it because they have some access to the water, which can last, some people say, from 3 to 4 years with them after using it and cleaning it properly. So this can help them a little bit in order to find better solutions and reduce the purchasing of other new products frequently. Okay, but for the people, let's say in the Chadian Sudanese border in Adre, who have no access for water, they can use other eco-friendly pads that are made out of banana fibers, which was new invented by some people. I think it was in India. I'm not sure. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Which can be used by the fibers of the banana leaves. It's very eco-friendly and it can be absorbed by the ground, and it's plant-based. It's more sustainable and biodegradable, so people in that area can use it in order to help them in this tackling this situation. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, we can also use portable solar fans and torches that just require sunlight to charge. I really hope that this can be provided with the minimal costs, so that people can use it. Like having to live in the dark, in very hot tents at the day and at the night is really, really hard thing, despite no matter what people are trying to do. If we could provide them with this, I think it can have very big impact on them. And also for the latrines and the toilets, people really have to go distant places to use the toilets. Some don't even know where to go because it's not provided by latrines and the toilets. So providing bio toilets can be a good solution for them because it's environment friendly and can reduce the sewage problem, as these places have no sewage system in order to get rid of them, and also reduce the water consumption in the toilets, as we know that in these areas where I can't find good resources or access to the water, we need the water to be used only for the important things. So the normal bathrooms, toilets required about 3 to 6 liters of flushing water, but the bio toilet can need half to 1 liter, as they can use it. And also this bio toilet can be using all the stools that's been collected, taking out the methane gas out of it and using for providing gas for cooking and providing for the heating during the winter. And the other part of it can be used as fertilizers in order to help in the growing of the crops. Okay, last thing, people should be provided by strong mosquito nets, because at the night the heat can be high, so people will try to sleep outside the tent. So we can provide them mosquito nets in order to let them sleep outside the tent, protecting them from the mosquitoes and other different insects. So I just want to say that despite all what's happening in the world, educating this student of the school is very important, letting them to know what's really going on in the resident camps, making them to making it to be something that's normalized for them, because since many years we know about the residents or the refugees having to flee from their countries. It didn't stop. We saw it right now in Sudan. We saw it before in the Rohingyas, now in Gaza, also before right now in Ukraine. Many different countries had to go, also Syria. many different countries have to have their refugees going out of their home country. So people at the school age, especially at the school, have to be educated about them, not marginalizing them, allowing them to be part of their education in order to know how to tackle their harsh situation, allowing them to have more ideal and creative ways in order to help them, rather than just letting them facing all this alone in things that they have no hand in it, especially the kids and the children. Okay, so that was the session of today. I really hope you all enjoyed it and got the most out of it. And so if anyone want to discuss anything or if anyone have any question, I would love to answer them.
Wow. Can we have some thumbs up, some reactions, please? Let's have some reactions. Kindly make use of the reaction button at the bottom, please. Reactions. Let's show some love. Ibrahim
Thank you.
Abubakar, let's show some love. I mean, it's not easy to come up with such extensive research. Let's show some love.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Marwa, now we have to open the floor for some questions. We have a lot of people over on this call who are really interested in climate change and innovation in health. So if you have any question, you can feel free to unmute and ask, or you can just type your question in the comment section, or you can just raise your thumbs up and I can unmute you, please. Any question? Let me check the chat box. Do we have any question from our audience? I think we have a question from someone. Okay. Marwa, to be honest, the people who joined the call today are actually experts. So I mean, they really understood what you thought.
Sure, everyone has no. A simple one. Let's discuss
So
anything.
we have one question, okay? We have one question from Ibrahim Abubakari, okay? So Ibrahim is asking, how do we manage behavioral change with climate change?
Okay, how do we manage behavioral change? Okay, as I understood from your question, you mean how to manage, like how to mentally support people during the climate change? Is that your question?
Abubakari, can you unmute your microphone?
Yeah, we can do that.
Abubakari.
Hello, good evening. Hello, everyone. Is everyone there?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Please, the question I was trying to ask is, how do we manage the overall change towards climate change? Because as far as climate change is concerned, there are certain climate patterns we are not used to in some, let me say, regions in Africa or the world as a whole. So how do you manage? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question. Come on.
Ibrahim,
Ibrahim,
can you ask?
Yes, please.
Yes, can you repeat your question for Marwa?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat it?
Okay, I said, how do you manage behavioral change towards climate change? In the sense that as some of the climate patterns that are occurring now in some zones in the world are new to those zones. So with that, definitely people will have like there might be tensions towards some of them, like some of the heat waves, the storms, etc., etc. Like how do you manage them?
Okay, so how can we change the people behavior in order to change the climate change? The climate. That's the
Yes,
okay.
yes,
So
yes, please.
first thing we should start with education. Like everything, every door can be opened when we educate people about what's really going on. We should show people that try to see the temperatures, the climate, the weather like 20 years before. Is it like now? Many people are saying like this winter was warmer than the year before. This summer was cooler than the one before or hotter than the one before. There is something changing over here. So people have to be educated about what's going on, what's climate, how is it affecting us. Eventually, it's our planet. It's the place where we live. People don't care about where they're throwing their waste, how the big developed countries are having some nuclear waste, having this waste being all into the sea, the sewage system into the sea, all of that. So people are trying to, some people have higher conscious in trying to tackle all of that, while others don't. Like they don't even believe that there is any changes happening, that the environment is the home of us, of our grandchildren, great great grandchildren's over the past over the next years. Let me give you an example. Like in Chad, in my home country, we have Lake Chad, the Lake of Chad. Before it was the sixth largest lake in the world. Right now, it's the 11th because people use it in the bad ways. People were using it without any studying how to use it for agriculture like that. Many conflicts happened in that area because of the high temperatures, high heat, the heat, the evaporating of it. So not learning about it, not being educated about it, made the people around the Lake Chad suffer. So this can be a cause for people to know and be educated more. How can we change our behavior in our daily life, in our school education, in how we are teaching our kids, the elderly, everyone, about how when we do bad to the environment, it's gonna come to us. Like, you know, it's karma eventually. When you harm it, it's gonna harm you.
Wow, 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 wow. That's so interesting and that's spectacular. Abubakari, I believe your question is answered.
I hope you understood, Abu Bakr. And if you didn't, you can tell me and I will try my best again. No problem.
Yes, please. Actually got what I was looking for. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. We have a question from iPhone. Let's take that question, then we come back to the chat section. iPhone, kindly unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Kekeli. My name is Apiamra Moses, and I'm the Executive Director for Fly Elevate 365. This is an amazing job that you've done so far, and it has been very impactful. But my question is that per the submission that was given, she gave some solution to some of these problems. You know, I would want to ask that how can we, the youth, also contribute to this kind of solutions that has been given? Thank you.
Okay. So how can we try to have solutions as youth in order to try to get over all of this? To me, I believe the government really have to be inserted into all of this. Like I know many youths, like in Chad, the people who went to the Sudanese refugees. Some of them were from the government, and some of them was other NGOs that were local and youth. And some also was not youth based. Some were different ages. There was no problem. That they have to go over there. They had to have settle down, see first of all what they need, what are the people in need over there, what are solutions that they're trying to figure it out. Because I believe that having a strong creative solution that can be sustainable for them is very important. Like not just going and building for them something and just coming back with the first train, it will be broken down. So trying to find a creative solution is very important to me. Like studying the different aspects of what am I doing, What will I do over there? How can I help people? Like different groups have to find different solutions. So the youth can try to see first of all be with the youth, the different organizations over there, what suits them, how their ideas align with them, trying to know what exactly are they going to do. Like you should have a specific goal, even if you feel like it's not giving the most out of it, no problem, because when you know what you're doing, you're gonna glow in it and people are gonna get benefit of it. Even if you're seeing it's not having that much big deal or no one's talking about it, like how environment is affecting the resident camps, like not too much people are caring about it, but it's coming back on them. Like the humanitarian aids are really more important, the healthcare and sort of, but also some small caring of the environment over there can reduce some of the bad environmental conditions that happening over there. I hope I understood your question and I answered you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. So moving on, we have a question in the chat box. We have a question from Yusuf Ibrahim, and Ibrahim is saying that climate change, is it natural? Is it really influenced by living things interact with humans, or is natural or both? Yusuf. Hello, Yusuf. Can you unmute and ask your question, please? Hello, Yusuf. Yusuf, we can't hear you. We can't hear Yusuf, but I think Yusuf's question was whether climate change is actually caused by just human beings or perhaps it's a natural cause on its own. I think that's what he's asking, if climate change can just be happening on its own or is basically compulsorily caused by human activities.
Okay, so the climate change, it can be both of them. Like the human also have us were having impact on them, as you said before. The war in Gaza, for example, how the war, the bombs, all of them are destroying the buildings, causing many storms of the sands that's made of the debris of the buildings, destroying infrastructures. People have to flee, causing more bad situation for the environment. As we have to go to areas that it didn't used to be settled by people before. So we are destroying it. And also the people who are moving and destroying let's have a simple example. People who are destroying the trees in the different I'm sorry, the different trees in the, let's say, the Amazon and those areas. So people, when we're destroying the heritage of the other people, the people original of the land, we're destroying it. So it's human based, throwing the waste in the oceans. Animals are being killed. Throwing the sewage system all in the oceans, also affecting it. Also our let's say airplanes, the gases that's being emitted by our cars and all of that also are causing it. So human are also a big cause of natural disasters. Human are also a big cause of the environmental issue. At the same time, we can find also some natural disasters happening without us being in it. Let's say the floods, tsunamis, sometimes the fires are coming in some areas because of the extreme heat and like that. So these all are causing catastrophic environmental problems, like the floods, all this huge amount of water coming into the environment, destroying it. killing humans, killing animals, cutting off trees and like that. So sometimes, and also the volcanoes when it erupts, it's destroying all what's around it and emitting a lot of cabrit and sulfur and CO2 gases into the air, all causing air pollution like that. So sometimes the climate change can be some from us, and on the other hand, it's also natural disasters.
Okay, thank you very much. Yusuf, I'm sure your question is answered.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes, we are about to bring this session to a close. Now I've
Question
placed, come again.
from Lydia. She asked, please, how can one help in support of the needy?
Okay, yes, would you like to take that for us?
Okay, so I guess this question was posed to the other one of our colleague who asked, how can the youth also help? Trying to see which proper organization that are going to the areas of the people who are suffering from the resident camps or like that, because most of the countries are having some programs allowing people, doctors, different multi-sectoral areas going to there and helping them. So organizing with them, like volunteering for them, would be really beneficial. So also sometimes donation can be helpful, but sometimes, as we know, donation won't be maybe it's not going to them. No one sometimes can trust everyone and like that. So to me, volunteering on your own is even more better in order to help the needy, but also donating and knowing to whom exactly you're donating is very important.
Okay, great. Lydia, is your question answered?
Hope Lydia is still here.
Okay. So moving further, we are about to bring this session to a close. Marwa, we really appreciate you. Audience, so I've pasted a Google form link in the chat box for everybody. Okay, so what we are expected to do is we would like to know how you saw this session for review. Feel free. This is a chance for you to, if you have any suggestion for us, you can leave it in this Google form that we've pasted in the chat box. Feel free, and it's anonymous, so we don't get to know exactly who you are. We don't collect your email whatsoever. Okay, we really appreciate you. Now, for further announcements, tomorrow being the 20th, we are continuing the Climate Change and Health Celebration Week. But for tomorrow, we will be having a video podcast live at the Grace Life Leadership Center located in Ashali-Botwe. So if you would like to come and have a look, feel free. We have a transportation currently available to transport you from your various homes to attend this podcast session live. If you would also like to have a professional photo shoot, we've also had that covered in our budgeting. So do feel free to come, where we'll be having our placards, climate change and health innovation placards, where you can take nice pictures at. And also, next up, tomorrow we'll be having a community engagement at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, where we've partnered Seeds Global. They are having an info session over there. So we've partnered them to also come and talk to the potential applicants of scholarships abroad about pursuing careers or courses in climate health, innovation, digital health, and so on and so forth. Now, I would like to also extend our gratitude to Mr. Edmond and Mrs. Yvonne Ahili for funding majority of our programs. We are grateful for that. We are also grateful and acknowledge Vimbas Media for also supporting us and present in the person of Mr. Secular Bless. We also acknowledge Mr. Prince Sam, Jennifer Kofi, our foundation. I mean, it was really amazing having all of you on board. Joyce, Rahel, everybody, we really appreciate you for making it a point here. I would like to conclude this session. We also acknowledge the presence of Mr. Charles Afedu. And if I didn't mention your name, forgive me for the sake of time. We would like to take a picture, with our videos and cameras on. So I would like to give everybody some 1 minute to put on some clothes, have a nice background, and turn on your cameras for just a brief screenshot. And we will also, if you are interested in having a certification for participating or attending most of our events this week, we have there is this certification ceremony that will go on by Digital Health Africa in Rwanda. So if you're interested, do feel free to reach out or leave it in the form that we've dropped in the chat box, and you will just upload your professional headshots, and they will check if you've attended all our sessions, and they will give you a certificate. So please, in the next 1 minute, can we all turn on our cameras, please? Okay, starting from me. Okay. Audience, please, let's turn on our cameras. Jennifer Kofi, Vincent Tete, Rocklina. Vincent, thank you for turning on your camera. Ibrahim Abubakar, please turn on your camera for us. Joyce, Alexander, Rahel, Enima, Leonor, Odoy, kindly turn on your camera for us, please. Wow, beautiful faces, beautiful faces. Okay. Lady Joyce, Lady Catherine, we still have some few minutes. Do take your time. We have some 2 minutes. Feel free to turn on your camera, please. Rocklina, Joyce, Alexander, we would appreciate if you can turn on your cameras for us briefly.
Wait, I want to ask tomorrow, what time is the program?
Video podcast.
The video broadcast.
The video
yes,
it's scheduled for 12 p.m. So that will be in partnership with the Grace Life Leadership Center. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out and let us know your location, and we can bring you. And if you want to take a professional photo shoot, okay, professional, like for your LinkedIn or to post on social media, you get me, for partaking, we have that budgeted for. So just bring your suit or whatever professional attire that you have and come along. Okay?
Okay, noted.
All right, so 12 p.m. So let's say roughly by 10:30, just let us know your location and we would come and pick you. And then in the afternoon around 5, we also will be present at Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, where we'll be engaging with Seeds Global. So if you are in that enclave, to feel free to come along. And also, lastly, as part of the package of what we are doing, Keldork Global Innovations, if you have any agri-tech, climate change, or health tech startup that you want to develop, feel free to reach out during this week, and we'll be able to give you some free consultancy services. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. So I think we have a few cameras on, so I think we can take our screenshot. So everybody, let's say cheese. Okay. Okay, one more. Let's have one more. Just a moment. Okay, so once again, cheese. Yes, great, beautiful faces. So feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. We are on LinkedIn as Keldork Global Innovation. You can follow Marwa, Bishara on LinkedIn, Instagram. We are on all social media platforms. Feel free to just post that you attended, tag us, do what you think you can. We really appreciate you. And Marwa, we really appreciate you for having sacrificed your time in Egypt. Marwa is currently in Egypt, so it's quite late over there, but she took it upon herself to join us and impact us with this great knowledge. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. I really want to thank you so much for this beautiful, huge opportunity. And I really want to give a big thanks for Kekeli, for Digital Health Africa, for Keldork Global Innovation, for hosting me tonight. And I want to have also big thanks for the beautiful audience that lasted till the end. And so big shout out for all of you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and indeed. And I wish we can have other beautiful collaborations, other events that we can attend, that we can help in it whenever you need.
Yes, we would be getting in touch. I mean, so from Ghana, we say yedase, which is thank you. Okay, so we appreciate. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.